Averaged 20 points, 5.5 rebounds per game, most improved player in the NBA. Johnson. It goes, nice touch.
All right, going back to Jimmy Butler.
He turned into a season where Aldridge and Kawhi Leonard lead the team in scoring. But as you mentioned the other night, as Johnson scores his first time, Manu gives you a lift one night.
Yeah.
Joe hanging, hitting.
That's where Joe Johnson is his best.
47-45 LA. Nets have made their last 4 shots. Johnson again. Joe Johnson.
7 on the timer. But a great pass from Giannis Antetokounmpo on the interior. Don't let me forget that. Joe Johnson.
Did I say 6 points? Yeah. Pretty good game going. That's vintage Joe Johnson. Yep. Get him into.
And that's going to count. That's going to make it.
Jack using the Lopez screen. Jack deflected. Johnson's got it with 9. Johnson to the rim. He gets the roll. Joe Johnson puts the nets in.
Didn't need to, but said, okay, I'll shoot the second one and knocked it down. Tough shot.
Joe Johnson gets it right back. Stephanie, you talk a lot about assisted field goals. That was the, in terms of three-pointers made, at 4.7. Johnson, high archer, goes in. What a first quarter for the 15-year pro.
Thaddeus Young crosses over, pitches back out. Johnson on the runner scores his first basket of the ball game. Leonard gets numbers back. Johnson attacks. He's fouled. Scored the bucket. On 4.5 to play here in the third. Got to dig down, get some stops. Joe Johnson right back at you. Woo. The 5. Johnson, the leaner, rolls in. Traveled around there, but got home. Yeah, that's what Joe Johnson needs. You know, there have been.
He keeps shooting the way he is. I have a feeling there's going to be a new single-season three-point record set by Curry.
Just tremendous stuff, Sarah. I'd say so. Jimmy.
Again, Lopez on the bench with 4 fouls. He has not been a factor offensively. And Joe Johnson trying to become a factor offensively. That's just 7 points.
Instead, 7 to shoot. Johnson wants it. Around Reddick. Johnson connects. Can't handle it. Just can't handle the size. 10 off the bench. Johnson trying to work Bosch. Bosch hung nicely. Johnson, tough angle off the window.
Tough shot. There may have been some. Yeah, that was on the air, Sarah. Were you answering somebody else? That was an aside.
Timing is.
Timing is impeccable, Sarah.
Joe Johnson gets the bucket. On the perimeter, Young shovels for Johnson, trying to get the step. Johnson, he hits. Joe Johnson. He's looking. Crowder now defending Johnson. 8 to shoot. Johnson drives in. Johnson, it's good. Joe Johnson. Sarah talked about the big numbers Bogdanovich has put up against the Magic. Young on a kick for Johnson. Joe Johnson, the floater. He was held to just. He will be the guy for the rest of the season. Changes for San Antonio. We'll update you on that in a moment. Johnson the drive and the deuce. Patty Mills is in the game. Played in the ABL. Played in the D-League. Shot clock's down to 4. Johnson drives in. Joe Johnson.
Johnson at 3. Won't go. Tapped by Lopez. Joe's got it again. The floater. And it goes down for Joe Johnson.
It's nice for Joe. Even really bought into that.
Absolutely. I think they understand that now more than ever. And it's something that we talked about on that night. Adam Silver, we had
Plunged. You can't play defense that way.
Lowry, a turnover. Joe Johnson, Scola gets back in transition. And a bucket.
3 down, but he's put the ball on the floor nicely. Now he's 5 of 10 overall with 12.
14-0 run. It was tied at 98, and now afford
the backcourt. It matters who's getting close to the rim, so you stay as deep as that deepest man.
Here's Johnson's floater. He got it. But now can the Nets get some stops?
Sloan up the floor. Wow, nice move. Joe Johnson, ball handling wizardry from Joe.
Joe has looked like a different player this.
Equals their biggest lead. Larkin flung it over to Johnson. And Joe Johnson in the paint.
Cousins has overtaken him this year. Free throw attempts per game. There's Johnson with a runner. And Joe Johnson with his first points of the second quarter.
And that's how you score. Game's kind of deferring. He has a shot. He's taking it. He's not thinking twice about it.
And 4 assists as well. Joe, the floater, rolls in. 20 in the...
Only scored 78 in the first 2 meetings against Miami.
Yeah, in one of those games they had 29 at the half, the other one 30.
Joe Johnson.
It's into a very good ball game. He lead by 1. Joe Johnson off the shot fake. Hits the runner. His first field goal attempt in my 3%. The Heat plastering that defense. Johnson off the spin with a silky smooth shot. Johnson now 9 for 8 on the shot clock. Wade against the taller Covington. 3 on the shot clock. Johnson able to put it in. Joe
23 points.
Joe Johnson never shies away from big moments and big shots.
I'm laughing. I mean, that's just, you know, he's. Johnson has stated he wants to stay in Miami after the season as he goes into the inside. And it's a timeout. They've cut it now to. That is the 3rd on Ross. And Joe Johnson on the inside, and after just picking up his 3rd, and that's where, right?
But see, that's where Joe
deep. Contested shot, but Joe Johnson with 25 now.
Rebound. Heat going with Whiteside, Deng, Richardson, Johnson, and Wade. Moutier flops. Johnson takes advantage.
Joe Johnson walks in, and that's just way too easy.
He's just too.
Goran Dragic. Now it goes to Joe Johnson. How many times has he just kind of come in to the lane?
Entertaining first half. Magic and the Heat. They played 2 close games. Miami won them both. Joe Johnson.
Yang with a rebound. Johnson gets a Haslam screen. Joe Johnson from in front.
An easy rebound for Miami, so give it a shot.
Yep. Probably a good decision. Joe Johnson with the score by any team in history. But their 3-point shot just has not been there. Miami's taking it away. That's Johnson, pretty spin, and a high.
Walker defending Richardson. Kick out for Johnson. The floater. Joe Johnson is showing off the repertoire.
Well, Charlotte's got to play smarter offensively here.
Batum defending Johnson, goes behind the back. Joe Johnson counted and a foul.
Jefferson. Dang throws it back up top. Johnson the runner.
Outside, but will play. His coach is telling you, hey, we need you. This is like the Hunger Games out there.
And you know, to your point, Heather, on the teeth as Johnson scores. John mentioned this in the first half where he's lost
2 today, but you're going to have to rely on those 3 guards. You're not going to get really anything on the interior.
And Johnson again starting to heat up. That's the guy that his teammate.
Just a little too much from Patterson.
Lars Stoudemire, the veteran, started 30-some games this year for Whiteside at center as Joe Johnson. Of OT. Wade, kick. Johnson makes his move. Johnson, it's good! 5 to go in this first half. Joe Johnson, switch. He's got Thompson with 3 to shoot. Johnson makes his move and gets it. Johnson on the runner.
Between how it is that Joe Johnson
Had a career-high 25 points per game earlier in his career. Back-to-back buckets. This is a guy that scored 20+5.